Okay, so I want to tell you the story about sync reviews. Let's go back to the year 2020. Like a lot of people during the early days of the pandemic, I downloaded TikTok. It was fun seeing all the memes, the dance trends, the TikTok songs. It was one of the few rays of light during an otherwise completely miserable time. But I was strictly a consumer. I felt too lame and old to, God forbid, ever make any videos. Then one day I was on the patio of a bar getting drinks with friends, and I remembered something that I used to do on Instagram. I used to do sync reviews. I'd just take photos of sinks and bathrooms at restaurants and bars and give them a little review in the caption, along with a rating of 0 to 5 sinks. All the young sink designers take note. Is this sink adorned in ostentation? No. Is it completely functional, reliable, and providing what a sink should? A smooth, comfortable hand washing experience from start to finish? Yes. I give it 4 sinks. It was a funny little thing that I did that like 2 or 3 of my friends found amusing and left everybody else totally confused and probably a little bit weirded out. So that day at the bar, I had had 1 or 2 beers and I thought, why don't I try this on TikTok? I hadn't done it on Instagram in a while and I thought it might be fun to resurrect it in video form. So I haphazardly filmed a couple of shots of the sink and I went home. So the next day I edited them all together, I recorded a little voiceover, I put in some classical music under it, I added a little sync graphic that I had created, and I posted it without really thinking too much about it. And then I went back to watching Tiger King or whatever the hell we were all doing back then. But then people started watching it. The view count slowly started to creep up, then not so slowly started to creep up. Somehow a video reviewing a sink was winding up on people's For You page. What? And that first video got over 500,000 views. So completely drunk on the serotonin rush of validation, I decided to make another one the next day. This time I went to a dingy public sink by my house and reviewed it, giving it the credence and consideration that you would an expensively remodeled bathroom in a museum. That video got 700,000 views. It was then that I realized that something was happening. Something had been born. Sink Talk.
I found my way onto Sync Talk.
I'm currently on Sync Review TikTok.
The internet and TikTok are a beautiful thing. When you have a guy reviewing sinks.
Hey, Sync Talk!
Since at the time I was profoundly unemployed and the pandemic was making it virtually impossible to do anything, I started doing sync reviews every day. I would just go to restaurants and bars, usually get lunch, and then go review their sink. Just a normal Tuesday afternoon. Always with classical music in the background, and always following a 0 to 5 sync review scale, with 5 sinks being the highest rating. I give it 5 sinks. And unbelievably, more and more people started watching. The 4th video that I posted got 1.7 million views. It was sort of insane. More videos, more views, more followers. I started taking requests. And people got really into it.
I would risk it all for the sync review man.
I give it 2 sinks. Every time Sync reviews a sink, I always comment, sink.
A lot of people joined in and made videos about Sync Talk. A few reviews even stirred up a little bit of good-natured controversy.
I got on this app for one reason and one reason only, and that was to take this guy down.
What was really weird was when it started to get media attention. There were articles in Curbed, Apartment Therapy, Time Out, The New York Times. Drew Barrymore's show emailed me and told me they wanted to do a piece about it. And through all of this, I consciously decided to not reveal my identity. It was sort of fun and cheeky because a lot of times people would ask for a face reveal, and a couple people even DM'd me and correctly guessed my identity somehow. But I never said. And the God's honest truth of why I never revealed myself was because I was scared of getting roasted by young people. They're scary, okay? This whole thing went a million times further than I ever would have expected. I sold Sync Reviews merch. Sarah Jessica Parker followed the Sync Reviews Instagram account. Somebody even got a tattoo of one of the syncs that I reviewed. Probably the most insane moment was when I had a meeting with an art gallery who wanted to mint a Sync Reviews NFT. We never did because I didn't understand NFTs, and I still don't. I even took a shot at the syncs at MoMA, which got 3.5 million views and caused a bit of a stir on the internet. Overall, it was a really fun and really surreal experience. Honestly, the best part about it was that everyone who followed it was on the same page. All of the sync heads, if you will, nobody ever called themselves that, were really positive, respectful, and supportive in the comments, which honestly feels incredibly rare for the internet. And it was fun for me. At a time when everything was shut down and it sometimes felt like the sky was falling, I had this fun creative outlet where I could review syncs using the same criteria and vocabulary that you might use to review a piece of art. But as time went on, I started getting a little burnt out. Nobody was forcing me to do them every day. That was something I imposed upon myself, but it slowly started to dawn on me that if you don't feed the TikTok beast consistently, that the algorithm begins to turn its back on you. The world slowly started to open up again, and there were starting to be other things for me to do. I could start seeing friends, I could begin new creative projects, and I was, as I'm sure everybody was, really anxious to just get out of my apartment and do semi-normal stuff again. So my interest began to wane. When I knew that it was really over for me was when doing them started to feel like work. At the start, it was really fun and exciting and effortless to go out and make these little videos. But as soon as it felt like a slog to make myself leave my apartment to go do them, I knew that I couldn't do it much longer. I didn't really know how to step away though, and I wasn't really sure if I was gonna totally stop. So I just kind of hit pause. Once I stopped, I felt a kind of sense of relief. I had done them every day for almost 5 months, and I was really ready for a break.
I think it's time to start asking real questions, like where is Sync Reviews?
What happened to Sync Reviews? Where did he go?
Where is the Sync Reviews guy? Where are you? We miss you.
Why did you leave?
They were also sort of a lot of work to do. It wasn't just me sitting on my couch talking to my phone. I had to make a list of places to go, travel to them, record the VO, edit it, add the music, and post it. Not easy, but it was an incredibly unique experience, and I really think it made living through the pandemic much more tolerable. I honestly don't know what I would have done with my time otherwise. Baked more bread, I guess? So how do I explain how all of this happened? I truly cannot. The only explanation I can think of is that we were all stuck in our houses and desperate for something, anything new to consume. I mean, we all watched Bird Box, for God's sake. A lot of people said they liked the dependability and regularity of Sync Reviews. Maybe it was a nice, relaxing break from the hellscape that was going on in the real world. And I agree, it provided me all those things as well. I do sort of miss it sometimes, and friends still ask if I'll ever start it up again. And who knows, maybe I will. But until that day, I'm happy enough to just share this tale with you and encourage you to get out there, wash your hands, and enjoy some syncs.